Hello and welcome to Sheepreneur with BC Ubo and Africa Business Radio. It's time we talk about young, strong, and empowered African women succeeding in their craft. The show promises to be fun, exciting, educative, and informative. So, welcome to the show. On the trivia today, I will continue the conversation on self-care. A little recap gives self-care to be the ability to care for oneself, which includes physical, emotional, and spiritual. It is a conscious act one takes in order to promote their own physical, mental, and emotional health. Today, we talk about physical care. Now, physical care involves activities that improve your physical health, such as diet, exercise, rest, staying hydrated, staying active in fun activities, such as playing sport, hiking, walking, or whatever rocks your boat. It's important that we take care of our body if we want it to run efficiently. We also need to understand that there is a strong connection between your body and your mind, and they both impact each other. Now ask yourself the following questions. Are you getting adequate sleep? Is your diet fueling your body well? Are you taking charge of your health? Are you getting enough exercise? Be truthful in your answers, and I'll be back after this break. Stay with us. Welcome back to She Motivates. On the 16th of January 2019, the London Stock Exchange Group launched the second edition of its Companies to Inspire Africa report, identifying and celebrating some of Africa's most dynamic growth businesses. Lionesses of Africa saw 8 of its most inspirational women entrepreneurs and their companies from across the African continent making it into the final publication. And for that, today we will be celebrating Melvin Marsh International from Kenya. Melvin Marsh International is a Kenyan-based family business known for establishing Kenya's first brand of flavored teas, Melvin's Teas. CEO and founder Flora Mutahi, a tea fanatic determined to change the world of tea in Kenya. She is passionate about providing her customers with exceptionally flavored tea to be enjoyed every day. Today, she remains obsessively committed to building a world-class company with several strong Melvin brands. The company flavors its teas with only 100% natural ingredients, the result of which is a range of teas that are flavorful, fun, and refreshing. Today, Melvin's Teas serve millions of cups of world-class tea each year. The product base has expanded to include not only flavored teas, but herbal and fruit infusions, including green, orthodox, and purple tea. So give it up for Melvin Marsh all the way from Kenya. I'll be right after this break. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Shiro segment. You're still listening to Sheepreneur with BC Ubo on Africa Business Radio. And like I always say, a Shiro is a hero without a cape. And today I have with me again a mental health advocate, a certified life coach, Neuro-Linguistic Programming Therapist, an emotional freedom technique and matrix reimprinting therapist. See, you have to pay me for all these tongue-twisting certifications of yours. She has a first degree in accountancy and a master's degree in financial decision analysis from the University of Portsmouth, United Kingdom. She is known as the soul doctor, equipped to help people overcome abuse and trauma, boost self-confidence and esteem, and develop relationship skills. Welcome with me again, Jola-Grace Emmanuel.
Hello.
God is with us.
I know.
How are you doing today, ma'am?
I'm very well, thank you. It's good to be back here again.
Thanks for honoring the invitation. You know, our last video has been trending, so to speak. People have been calling in, asking questions, how they can reach out to you, how you can help them in their relationships. And I thought, why don't I bring you back before you go back to the UK? You know, you're not based here now. You're not local meats like us. Yeah. So today, we're going to be talking about learning to love oneself. Yeah. And I know that you have a rich experience when it comes to learning to find yourself, self-esteem, confidence. You have grown. You have faced the struggle. You know, the struggle that most of us don't even agree we are facing. You have faced it. You have come out triumphantly, and you'll be sharing with us today. So let me start by asking you what self-love is in your definition. What is self-love?
Thank you so much. You know, I've shared the last time that I was here about the experiences I went through with the abuse and everything. And, you know, after I left, there were some other issues that I was dealing with regards to my children. And, you know, I was always so sad. I was always so depressed and always crying. And my mom looked at me one day and said, Jola, you need to start loving yourself. And I was taken aback. I'm like,
how?
What do you mean, Mom? Like, I need to start loving myself? Of course I love myself. She was like, nope. You don't love yourself.
Wow.
Because if you love yourself, you will understand that you are the most important person in your life. And if anything happens to any of these people that you are saying you want to be in their life, you want to be part of their life, they will move on. They will continue. God forbid if anything happens to you tomorrow, they will probably cry for 2 weeks and life gets back to normal.
Wow.
So you need to start loving yourself. So what is self-love? Self-love is a regard for your own well-being and happiness. You have a regard for your own well-being. You are conscious that you are important. You know, a lot of times I ask people this question: who is the most important person in your life? You know, so when I have clients I'm coaching and everything, and then people go like, my husband,
my dad,
my children, you know, my this, my that. Like, I'm going to ask you again, who is the most important person in your life? And by the time we go back and forth, I say, oh, I am the most important person in my life. I said, yeah, you just got it right. Because if you don't come to that realization, you cannot love yourself. Because you will always want to put other people ahead of you to your own detriment. Because you will keep wanting to give and give and give. And it's like you have a bank account. If you open a bank account and you keep withdrawing from that bank account, you keep going there
without filling it up.
Without filling it back up, it's going to get a time that you will get to the cash machine. You will put your card in and then it's going to tell you
no
insufficient funds. You know, and you'll be like, what? Yeah, you've been withdrawing, you never put anything back. So because man is a spirit, it has a soul, it lives in the body. Man is a tripartite being. You have to, as much as you are giving out, you have to retreat, you have to revitalize yourself, you have to refresh yourself from time to time. Because if you don't have it, you know, I tell a lot of my friends that are so busy and they're like, oh, I have to do this. I said, see, just wait a minute. Is there somebody else that can do that thing for those people you are trying to do? They're like, I don't know, maybe, but I want to do it. I said,
they may not be able to do it well.
Exactly. So I said, listen, if anything happens to you tomorrow, you wake up and your legs are like, I'm not getting up, I'm not going to walk today, or your eyes are like, I'm not going to open today, and you're bedridden, do you think those people will stop living their lives?
No.
They will move on. They will find somebody else to do that thing for them. But the way to keep being a blessing to those people, the way to keep being relevant in your life, in your sector, is to take care of yourself. Is to make sure that you are okay mentally, you are okay physically, you are okay spiritually, so you can be able to give to them and actually be a blessing to them. So I would say you are the most important person in your life, and you need to be aware of that I am important. my happiness is important. How do I regard myself? And it boils down to the things that you do for yourself. You know, are you able to accept compliments? You know, I normally say that the KPI for love, you know, love is one of the words that has been bastardized in our generation.
Yeah, true.
A lot of people have no clue what love means. But I'm a person of faith and I always default to the Bible. So 1 Corinthians 13 talks about love. So when we say self-care, self-love, what does 1 Corinthians 13 say? Now, a lot of times when we look at that scripture, we're looking at it in other people. Oh, be patient with other people, be kind with other people, be this, but are you those things to yourself?
Wow.
So I had to sit down. When my mom said to me, you don't love yourself, I had to sit down and ask myself, okay, Jola, are you patient with yourself? Sometimes we are too hard on ourselves. Are you kind to yourself? Sometimes people pay you compliments and they're like, which wristwatch? The wristwatch I just bought. It's cheap. It's nothing.
But Jola, let me ask you, what is the thin line between self-love and selfishness? Because a lot of people put this self-love, I'm loving myself, and then it's just about them. What's the thin line?
Thank you very much for that, because I always like to balance things up. You know, yes, we're talking about self-love and self-care, but like you said, there's a thin line between self-love and selfishness. Now, selfishness is when you don't care about other people at all. You know, and a lot of times, last week we talked about, we talked about narcissistic personality disorders. A lot of times, people that have these personality disorders is rooted in selfishness. You always see it comes hand in hand with selfishness, because they only think about themselves. They don't care about how other people are feeling. They have an exaggerated opinion about themselves. You know, in fact, I think, again, defaulting to the Bible, it says in Romans that do not have an exaggerated opinion about yourself. So when you begin to think that I'm the only one that can do this thing, you know what I'm talking about?
I'm most special.
You know, and then they brag. You know, selfish people, they just brag like, oh, they can't allow other people to be happy. They can't allow other people to have compliments. So we're in a room like this and somebody looks at you and say, BC, I love your necklace. It's so beautiful. That person will be like, I have something similar.
Wow.
You know, in fact, yours looks like fake. Are you sure it's real?
Wow.
Mine, you know, it's all of those things. So it's not just the fact that they don't want to share. So it's part of the thing. Sometimes selfishness means you don't want to share. So I've got like 4 mobile phones. I've got 4 different numbers. And there's somebody that really actually needs a phone, maybe for work or something. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I actually need all these phones, you know. This is about me. I have to think about what is good for me. But no, you can actually do without one of those phones. That is where selfishness comes in. But self-care, loving yourself will probably be, you have just the one phone. You actually need the phone as well. And somebody is saying, but can I just have your phone for a day and all of that? And you're like, and I need it. So, okay, but take. And so you derive yourself of your own happiness, probably because you feel you're not worth it. You feel there's something, you're getting your sense of self-worth from pleasing other people. Oh. So you deprive yourself, and then you always want to make other people happy. So there must be a balance between wanting to just being all about you, thinking that the world revolves around you. That is selfishness. You only think about yourself.
So let me understand what you're trying to say. You can love yourself, but you still give room to love and care for other people.
Absolutely.
That's self-love.
Absolutely.
But selfishness means you don't even care about other people. All the focus, all the glory should be for you.
It's just about you. Absolutely.
That's awesome. So Jola, what do you think stops us from practicing self-love now that a lot of people are becoming aware, but some people are still finding it difficult to really love themselves? What are some of the things you think stop us?
Thank you very much for that. I say the first thing is your past. And you know, I've come to a place where I know that my pain is not in vain, and my pain is for other people's gain. So a lot of times I use myself as an example. It took me a while before I actually started loving myself and, you know, thinking that I'm worth something. And this is because of my past, because I've had a traumatized past. I've had a past where I was constantly put down. I was constantly told I didn't mean anything. I was useless. I was a problem. So it actually demoralized me and made me feel there's nothing to be loved about you. You know, so even when you hear people talking about love yourself, you're like, which self am I loving? Let's just leave it, you know. And I'm actually starting to accept compliments. I used to be like, when people look at me and say, "Oh, you're so beautiful," I'll be like,
"Are you kidding me?"
"Oh, I love your shoes." I'm like,
wow.
You know, but then I had to start being conscious and being aware that there's nothing wrong in accepting compliments. So, but because of my past, so one of the things that holds us back from practicing self-love is your past. And you need to rise above your past. Whatever past you've had, that's why it's called past. It's in your past. You must not allow your past to affect your present or go with you into your future. So it's your past. You must deal with it and you must rise above it. Secondly, other people's opinion. Sometimes we just think that, what would they think?
What would they say?
What would they think? What would they say? If I now go and I say, I'm going to make my hair, or I want to go and have a massage. Maybe my spouse or the family members or maybe those in-laws or something, they will think that, hey, is that what you're supposed to be doing? You're supposed to be working. Have you fed your husband? Have you done this one? So you just think that, I can't stand what people will say. And guess what? I'm sure a lot of people have heard the story of the man and his son with the horse. Like, I'll say it in Yoruba, Yoruba don't do that.
Have you lost it?
My Yoruba sometimes just fails me. Like, there's nothing you can do. So there's this guy that had a horse and the son, and they were traveling somewhere. And the guy and the son were on the horse, and they went a little bit further, and someone said, "Oh my goodness, you guys are so selfish. Do you want to kill the horse? Why both of you on the horse?"
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, I'm going to get down. And then he gets down, and the son is walking, and he's on the horse. And somebody said, "Oh, your son is so
selfish, father."
You know, and then they swapped until, and after a while, they had to carry the donkey on their head. Because, see, people will talk. People will have opinion about you, whether you like it or not.
You're not jollof rice.
Exactly.
Even jollof rice. Some people request for stew.
I'm telling you. Actually, I do have a friend that cannot eat jollof rice without stew. And I'm like, are you for real?
My son.
Wow.
Yeah, everything, there must be stew. So even the jollof rice is not trusted enough. People still request for stew.
Wow.
That's so amazing. I like that. Okay, you have more points?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to say low self-esteem as well. You know, if you have low self-esteem, it will stop you from practicing self-love. Because every time you even think about doing something for yourself, you know, I have a group of ladies that I mentor, and last week the challenge was to do something nice for yourself. And you know, I kept asking them, okay, I want to see a picture of what you've done for yourself this week. Like, I don't know what I said. See, there are so many things you can do for yourself. Take time out and just sit down by yourself alone. Play music and dance. Make yourself happy, because you deserve to be happy. It's one of the things I say to my friends over and over again. You deserve to be happy. Stop thinking about what people would think because you are being happy. Now, I had an opportunity to go to, I've not been in like an Owambe in like 4 years. And somebody invited me for a party. And I was struggling. I said, I don't want to go for this party. There were so many people that I know there. I overthought. And then after I just said, girl, get up and enjoy yourself. What's your problem? I said, that's fine. Let's go. And I danced. I went for this party. I'm sure people don't know. What happened to this girl? I just told myself, this is about me enjoying myself and feeling good about myself. So low self-esteem, a lot of times when you don't feel that you are worth it because of whatever has happened to you, it affects you, it stops you from practicing self-care.
Yeah, let me ask you this question. So in case there's someone out there who's listening to this now and doesn't know how to begin in this process of loving themselves, what are some of the steps you think they can take to start loving themselves?
Absolutely. Thank you. You cannot love what you don't know to start with.
Deep.
You can't love what you don't know. And a lot of people don't even know who they are.
Wow.
So, like I said, I do lots of coaching, and then I ask you, who are you? What are you? I don't know. So, well, go and think about it. That's your assignment. So you can't love what you don't know. So the first step is to discover yourself. Sit down with yourself. I normally call myself to meetings. I'm like, Jola, come sit down. Let's have a meeting. Let's talk. I'm telling you, have a G1 meeting with yourself. Ask you, who are you? What do you like? Not what has your environment made you to like.
Wow.
Because sometimes you find yourself in environment, either physical environment or psychological or emotional environments, or in relationships that made you to become who you really are not. Because for me, after I left that abusive marriage, I had to ask myself, I started discovering myself. I started saying that, before I used to think, okay, I'm flag male and everything. I said I have a lot of sun in me that I didn't know, and I love it.
Wow.
I absolutely do enjoy it. So you can't love what you don't know. You can't love who you don't know. So first step, discover yourself. Ask, if you need help, ask people around you. Ask people that genuinely care and love you. What are the things that, and there's a lot of tests, personality tests online
I wanted to say
that you can just go and do, and, do various ones, find out who you are, what are your likes, what do you love? And then once you've discovered yourself, accept yourself. You need to accept yourself. Okay, so this is who I am. And in accepting yourself as well, I would say, especially to the ladies, accept who you are physically. Because sometimes the fact that you are in a particular way,
plus
you
size.
feel my nose is too big, my this is too that, and then you just feel so bad about yourself, and you can't love yourself if you don't like yourself. So you need to first of all accept yourself. What do I look like? You need to stand before the mirror and blow yourself a kiss.
Ew.
And say, girl, you look good. Girl, listen. The price of a commodity is dependent on its rarity, the value. How many of you are in the world? How many people have your DNA?
Nobody.
Nobody. Do you know how expensive you are? And then whose trademark is on your life?
Jola, I feel like you're talking to me personally.
Oh, come on. So again, if I say, okay, this bag is a Gucci bag, this bag is it has no name. They're not going to be the same price. Why? They might even be made of the same material.
Yeah.
But somebody put their signature on it, and that changes everything.
Put your signature on you.
Do you know who crafted you?
Jesus.
Do you know whose piece? You are a master's piece. There is nobody like you. So whatever you look like physically, the master, the grand master of the universe,
took his time,
sat down and told himself, I want to create something beautiful.
Oh.
I want to create a piece. I want to make this piece 5'4". I'm going to make this piece vertical or horizontal.
Whatever.
I'm going to create it. And when God created you, He broke the mold. So I can't reuse this one. I need to create an original one. So you need to accept yourself, because you are special. You are one in over 7.5 billion people who have been. Accept yourself because the way you are physically, is part of your purpose. I don't know if I should share this, but I've decided to be vulnerable. And sometimes I Jola, you should have said that now. You should keep quiet. I'll say it. Now, when I was younger, God decided to bless me with, part of my body is
we know, exactly loaded.
But when I was younger, because I was very slim, really, really slim. I was like size 8. And then you see me and you see that. So I felt so awful.
Oh, you had yours even with your...
Oh, yes. It's always been there, forever has been there.
Wow.
I do not like myself. I would look at myself in the mirror and be like, ugh, I disgusted myself.
Are you kidding? People are paying for that now. People are buying that now.
I didn't like myself until I began to, hear these things, going to therapy, going to coaching, and be like, the way God created me is the best way me can be. If I'm too tall, if I'm taller than this, I'm too tall. If I'm shorter than this, I'm too short. There is a purpose why you are the way you are. There is a reason why you are the way you are physically. So you must accept yourself. That's very important. Now, when you accept yourself, begin to develop yourself. Because yes, you've discovered yourself. This is the way I am. But you can be better.
Yeah, a better version of
yourself.
A
better version of yourself. Now, saying develop yourself doesn't mean change who you are. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have heard the story of this lady that went to do plastic surgery and everything, and God had told her that she was going to live. I don't know whether, I think it's a joke, but then it sort of drives home the point that God has promised you 70 years or so, and then the lady comes out of the operation and she gets hit by a car and she gets going to go like, God, what's up? And she told me I'm 70. Going to be 70. I said, hey, so it's you. I don't recognize you now. This isn't what I created, because you have not changed yourself. So develop yourself doesn't mean change yourself. Be comfortable in your skin. And I love you, BC, because you are so comfortable in your skin. A lot of times I see you out without a makeup and I'm like, this is a girl who knows who she is and who is comfortable in her skin. I'm telling you, some ladies cannot go out without makeup. They want to go and buy bread. The shop next no, now you are fine the way you are. You are okay. See, all of these things is just enhancing the beauty that God has given you. And yes, I love fashion. I love beauty. But sometimes it's overdone that you be like, where's I've had stories about they got married and then in the night the guy is like, please,
in the morning, the next morning
is like, please, where's the woman I married you? Because it's like
they've removed everything.
They have, so develop yourself. Yes, if you think that you need to trim down, you need to lose a little bit of weight, you need to tone your skin, you need to tone your body, use creams, look nice. Just develop yourself intellectually. Read books, attend courses, so that when you open your mouth, people will not be like,
where is this person? Who is this?
What was that? I don't say that is the way I am. That is the way I was. I brought up in the village. Just accept me the way I am. No, now you can develop yourself. So develop yourself spiritually. Get closer to God if you're a person of faith. Just develop yourself. So those are some of the things that you can do towards start the journey to loving yourself.
On that note, we'll go on a break. When we come back, we continue this conversation with Jola. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're still listening to Shipreneur with BC One Africa Business Radio, and I still have my guest here with me, Jola. She has dropped some very strong meat that we need to take time to digest. And Shola, you've really shared a lot about how we can go on a journey of loving oneself. And I want to ask you this question: how do we ensure that people don't take advantage of us in our relationships? Because when you start loving yourself, you're going to be opening up more to other people, because as you love yourself, you will love them better. How do we ensure we are protected?
That's very key as well. I'll go back to what I said the last time, is know yourself. Again, because we are not all the same. We have different personalities. We have different temperaments. Some people are more vulnerable to being taken advantage of than other people.
Yeah. So
now, I think I mentioned to you the other day that I had a group of women, like a support system, who are women that have been through narcissistic abuse. And you will see that all of the women are the same. They are all people who are very caring, people who are very quiet, phlegmatics. And these guys, they have prey. They look for a particular kind of person. So you need to know who you are. What is your personality? Okay, is it very likely for me to give too much of myself to people? So if you realize that you are someone that's very empathetic and you care for people a lot, sometimes, I've met people that if you're just saying, I have cough, they'll be like, okay, hold on, they will rush and go and get you something to drink. And Some other people will just say, hey, yeah, sorry. They continue to do it. And it's not as if they are bad people. It's just, we
not
are
their style.
all different. You know, we are different personalities. So you need to know your personality. When you realize, some people, they will suspect you from morning till night. You can't even take advantage of how, or they themselves will take advantage of you. You understand? So, you know, for people like that, they might not really, they know that they are covered. But if you know that you're probably a phlegmatic, you have a tendency to want people to take decisions for you, you are very vulnerable, then you need to be aware. You need to have some things in place that you used to test that, okay, is this person taking advantage of me? And then develop healthy boundaries. There's nothing wrong in developing boundaries. Never feel bad or feel guilty that you're developing boundaries. See, a friend of mine said to me so many years ago, you know, I used to be like that. Like, I will carry people's problem on my head, like, hey, I have to solve their problem. Oh,
it's only me.
It's only me. One day, I think at 5 a.m., one of my proteges called me, and you know, she was having a relationship with her, and I was on the phone, we were counseling, talking. Then, because I was with my friends, and then she now came to me and said, Jola, is everything okay? I said, is this? Because she knows I've been talking to that person every day that week. She just said, Jola, you're not the savior of the world. Hey! That thing entered my head. You know when something enters your head, from your head, and it goes down all through your body like that. I said, it's true. I'm not the savior of the world. And that statement has been guiding me ever since. To tell me that there has to be boundaries. You know, there was a day I called one of my mentors. Another friend of mine was having issues, and we were all her proteges. So I called her. It was around 12 midnight, and her phone was off. I was upset. I'm like, how can her phone be off? We need her. We need to talk to her. The next morning, I think around 10 or so, you know, her phone came on, and, you know, we're talking, and she was like, oh, that's once she's done with her day, she's prayed, and she wants to go to bed, she puts her phone off, and she doesn't put it on until she wakes up. She wakes up and ready to relate with people. I was thinking, so somewhere in my mind, there was condemnation and judgment. But then there was another thought that came and said, that is boundary.
I like that.
Setting healthy boundary. That is loving yourself. Because if you, again, don't have enough rest, so anytime people want to call you, they will, you know, it's funny. I've had people send messages, I need to talk to you, it's very urgent. Excuse me, who determines what is urgent in your life? And then when you now call them, they'll be like, So it's like, you know, that thing. And you'll be like, this is what you say is urgent.
You rushed me for this.
Seriously? you want to think about the food you're going to eat tomorrow, and that is urgent to you. So no, let me determine what is urgent. So when people send messages, it's urgent, I need to talk to you, I just say, sorry, I'm not available at the moment, let's chat. Don't ever feel guilty. And see, let me say this now, and maybe I'll apologize in advance, because some people might not like it.
You're not jollof rice, Jola.
No, I'm coming there. Particularly in this part of the world, I get people, maybe they called me, I saw 2 missed calls, and then I called them back later. I was calling you didn't pick. That thing just drives me nuts. I'm like, why do I have to pick in your own time? Have you considered that maybe I might be busy, or I might be in the middle of something and I can't really talk to you now? Why does it have to be about you? Why can't you
understand?
There's something that, you know, we learn in NLP, which is called perceptual positioning.
Yeah.
Why can't you flip and think that, okay, she's not picking my call. What may be happening? She may be in a meeting, or she might not even be feeling too fine or something. Why do you have to jump into conclusion that is about you?
Or she may not be ready to talk to you.
Exactly.
It's okay.
And so respect, as you are setting boundaries, respect other people's boundaries as well. If you say somebody should come and do something for you, and they genuinely can't, leave it alone. Don't start using it to react to them. Respect if they say they can't talk to you. Don't say, I'm sorry. You can see it on my face. I'm just like, is it a crime if I don't pick my phone? I was calling you didn't pick. Why didn't you pick? Duh.
Hello.
It's my phone. It's my time. It's my life. I decide whether I want to talk to you or whether I want to talk to you. You know? So I think it's just very important for us to begin to understand that, who am I? Set healthy boundaries. If you know that you are vulnerable and it's likely, then maybe have people around you, like accountability partners, that you can tell, okay, so maybe when you're in a relationship, for instance, maybe a romantic relationship, you have somebody that you're accountable to, and you can say, this is what happened between me and then they can say, that one doesn't really sound very good, you know, and they can advise you. Because I think one of the things I said last week is also that abuse thrives in secrecy.
Yes.
And because the abuser will try to isolate you, and they will only tell you things, they will not allow other people to speak into your life, because they know that what they are telling you is wrong and they don't want you to hear other people's perspectives. So find out yourself. What is my personality? Is it easy for me? Am I a prey? And then start to set healthy boundaries and also respect other people's boundaries.
Awesome, Jola. Really deep. But I'd like you to help us understand how we can start taking responsibility for our happiness. A lot of people put their happiness on other people, you know, and then expect a lot. But in this journey of understanding and loving oneself, how do you think we can start, you know, being in charge of our own happiness?
Again, I'm going to go back to, actually, let me quote Socrates. It says, love you, know yourself. Know yourself. So what makes you happy, BC, might not make me happy. You understand? So, and there's something called love languages. And when I'm talking about love languages, I don't want our head to start running to romantic relationships alone. And, you know, I am also a relationship dynamic expert. And when I talk about relationship, I'm trying to get people to understand that relationship is more than romantic relationship.
Of course.
And a lot of times, even the romantic relationships don't work because we have not mastered the other relationships. So you call somebody your friend.
Wait, refresh. So we need to master the other types of relationships for it to work when we bring it to romance.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you have acquaintances, you have friendship, you have family and relatives, and then you have romantic relationships. Do you understand the difference? A lot of us mix up acquaintances and friends, and I've seen that to be one of the biggest problems that we have.
We'll bring you back for this one separately. Not today. Go ahead.
You know, so I think it's absolutely important for us to actually understand that. So you say, we're talking about love languages. So we might even be sisters. The fact that we are sisters, the same father, the same mother, doesn't mean that what makes you happy will make me happy. So I need to find out what makes me, Jola, happy. You need to find out what makes you, BC, happy. And then we need to communicate it to people around us. See, a lot of times, and I've been guilty of this, I expect people to read my mind.
Assumptions.
We just say, shouldn't you know that this is what I shouldn't know now. I cannot read your mind. I'm not the Holy Spirit. I cannot, and the angel has not appeared to me to say, this is what is going on in me. Tell me. Communication, you know. Communication, they say, is the blood of every relationship. And relationships start to break down when there's no communication. So somebody, you know how the way the mind works. You see something, I see something flash on, I say, could that be a mosquito? It must be a mosquito bite. Because I know BC is always going out in the night. Not about to sit at home. That's how mosquito went and it's actually a bad mark. So why can't I just ask you, BC,
what is this?
What is this? Is that a bad mark or a mosquito? And then I'll go and tell people, BC, mosquito bit her. I say, hey, it's true. I can meet her, I saw her. And that's the way the thing will go until it becomes everybody's truth, but it's not your own truth. So find out who you are, find out what makes you happy, and I don't want to use the word be selfish about it, but in a good way. In a
Put
good
yourself
way.
first.
Prioritize now. Religious people will say that love, J-O-Y, I don't know whether you've heard about this, in J-O-Y, joy, this is what it means. Jesus first, others second, or yourself last. Excuse me, where did you see that in the Bible?
They coined it
please,
from joy.
Anybody that knows where that is, please, I would love to please send me send me a message.
Love your neighbor as yourself. It's a commandment that we don't remember.
As I was coming to. So I don't know where on earth they got the J-O-Y, joy from, but that is absolutely a big fallacy. Jesus said the second most important commandment is love your neighbor as ass. We all went to school now. Ass is simile.
Exactly.
Ass. So as I'm loving myself, I'm loving other people, because you can't
The
give
same way.
what you don't have. If you are not happy, how can you make other people around you happy? So you must realize that, like the question I asked, who is the number one, who is the most important person in your life?
Me.
If it's me, then what makes me happy? Write it down. What makes me happy in a good way? Because I always want to balance. Because you can say,
killing people makes me happy.
Thank you very much.
I get
but
it.
that is wrong. So what makes me happy in a good way? What makes me happy
Positively.
that is not causing other people unhappiness? You know, so what makes me happy in a positive way? What can I do? And what am I responsible? Because sometimes, like you said, we put the responsibility of our happiness on other people.
Yeah.
What am I responsible for? So, for instance, I love music. I love dancing. It instantly changes my mood like that. So I know that makes me happy. So
Same
I wake
here.
up every morning, I play my music and I'm dancing. If you like, next door, be putting up your nose. See, our music is too loud. What's wrong with her? Why is she dancing? Or I put my dancing video on social media. And why is she dancing? So with all the problems now, like, why is she dancing? It's not your business now. I want to dance. It's making me happy. Forget about my problems. At that point in time, I'm happy. And it is my happiness, and I will enjoy it. So what makes you happy? I love nature. Sometimes I just go for a walk by the pond. I sit down. I look at the ducks. God is just awesome. Sometimes I sit down and look at the sky. You look at the beautiful design in the sky. And some people say God doesn't love color. Have you seen some ducks? Have you seen, like the clothes you're wearing, you will see some ducks with different colors and the way the color blends. So what makes you happy?
Find it.
That you are in control of. Find it and begin to work on it.
Jola, tell us how we can love ourselves even when we fail. Some people find it really difficult to love themselves when life is not happening to them the way they had planned, the way they had set it. Career, marriage, and all of that. And when they hear love yourself, love, they are feeling like, whoa, how? I'm not, How do you think we can begin on that journey to loving ourselves even when we fail?
Thank you. Nobody's perfect. And I'm actually having a program on the 4th of July called Rise Above Your Mistakes. Because, I don't know, if you know anybody that has never made a mistake, please let me meet the person. I would love some counseling and maybe coaching or therapy from the person.
Maybe Jesus.
Because we all make mistakes. That's what makes us human. We are prone to mistakes. So again, accept that you are human, accept that you will make mistakes, and accept the mistakes that you've made. Now, the mistakes, failure, they say, is an event. It's not you. So you are not, I love playing Candy Crush. I'm telling you, I love it.
You're being a baby now.
Oh, I love playing. Oh, no. I love it. Now, I was telling my friend this week, I said Candy Crush helped me maintain my sanity. She didn't understand. But I'm telling you, it did. Because when you're playing, oh God, I don't know why I'm advertising Candy Crush. When you're playing Candy Crush, you're focused. You're really focused on what you're doing. You don't have time to think about something else. So try it. If you have, don't worry, I'll give you that for free. I won't collect any money from you. Now, sometimes when I play Candy Crush and I don't pass on the first level, it says you have failed. I tell Candy Crush back that I did not fail. I only did not pass this stage. So because I'm like, what do you mean I failed? Every time you come and say you have failed, no, I did not fail. That stage, I only did not get it, and I'm going to try again. And that's one of the things why I love Candy Crush, because for me, if I don't win once, I keep doing it. It's that time gone that I'll say, this stage, I'm going to pass it. And I'll sit down with it until I pass it. So failure is an event.
It's feedback.
Who lives in an event?
Nobody.
So you had an event yesterday. Are you still there? But how many hours? Nobody lives in an event. It has happened, and then you move on. So tell yourself, I failed. I messed up. Whatever. I'm on here. I don't want to use the French word. Yeah. I did. Fine. Ask yourself, what have I learned from this? Now, the problem is, if you don't learn anything from your failures and you keep repeating it, then there's a big problem.
That's where you have the problem.
Then there's a big problem. But just sit down and say, okay, this has happened. So you wrote your exam, you didn't. That's revision. So you ask yourself, okay, so what are the areas I'm supposed to have paid attention to?
I need more
okay,
work.
this topic, I focus on that topic, you do revision, and then you do it again, and then you pass. So, but if you start feeling that you are the failure, then that's where the problem is. So you can still love it, because when you separate the two, that failure is not me, failure is what happened. It will not stop you from loving yourself.
You need to separate the two.
Oh, yes.
You are not your failures. Deep.
Absolutely. So separate the two, and still, it's like when you have children and that child does something wrong, you discipline the child, you tell the child off and all of that, but you still love the child. You're not going to start saying, this child, that because that child did something wrong, every time you want, I'm not even going to pay your school fees, you're not going to eat today. Nonsense. Go and sleep outside.
So the behavior is not the child
at all. So the failure is not you. So you still love, even the Bible says God corrects the child whom he loves. So you are still loving that child. And there's this adage that says you use one hand to discipline the child, the other one to pull the child closer.
Back, yeah.
Because you realize that child is not the behavior. It's just something that happened. You deal with it, but you still love the child. So the same with yourself. Still keep loving yourself. Sometimes I punish myself in quotes to say, how can you make that kind of mistake? Okay, so this week you are not eating out, you eat at home, or you just and it's just for you to help you to keep growing and to understand that I'm not that thing. Yeah, I might have messed up, but that's not me.
But I can rise up.
I can rise up, and it's in my past, and I learn from it, and I grow through it. I go through it, and I grow through it.
Awesome, Jola. Awesome. I'm going to ask you this final question before I let you go. Is it possible and necessary that everybody likes you?
Absolutely not. A big capital N-O. I think I mentioned the story about the man and the horse and his son earlier on. You cannot please people in the world. You cannot please everybody in the world. You cannot, we are commanded to love everybody, but you cannot like everybody.
Oh, hold on, please. Let's get this. We are commanded to love everybody, but we can't like everybody. I'm trying to understand.
Oh, yes, you can't. You can't like everybody. You like somebody first. I would say like is deeper than love. I know it
looks like the other way around.
But I'm maybe passing on the road. Somebody comes and say, "Oh, please, I need help." I say, "Oh, okay, take." That's love, because love is giving. So I give you, I help you out. What do you need? I help you out. That doesn't mean I like you. Jump inside my car. Let's go and eat dinner together. No, I don't even know you. So how can I like you? But I still love you because I'm commanded to love. So I love you, but that doesn't mean I like you. So everybody cannot like you.
So with likeness, what I hear is there's close proximity.
Absolutely.
There's a connection.
Absolutely.
Which is beyond just loving the person like Christ has commanded.
And which was why I said sometimes, because we have not mastered the other relationships in our life, it messes up our romantic relationships. Because if you don't like somebody, you cannot have a very good relationship with that person, no matter what. So it has to start from there. And then sometimes, because we want to be part of the clique, we start wanting to be liked and accepted by certain people, and we force ourselves. Maybe this person is supposed to be an acquaintance, but you force yourself
into friendship.
To be the person's friend, and you always have issues. Why? For you to like somebody, for somebody to like you, you must share the same values. You must share the same beliefs. And I don't know about you, but I've met some people, and we just click.
Yeah, it happens.
And you'll be like, have I known you all my life? No,
like a soul connection.
Exactly. It's because your values and beliefs are the same. And then there's some other people in your life that you're always struggling with that relationship. It's always, every time you always have to argue. You don't have the same values. You don't have the same beliefs. And that is why you can see. So if they don't like you, it's because you don't share the same values. So why?
So you shouldn't take it personal.
Absolutely
not. It's not about you.
No, it's not about you. It's about them. They don't value what you value. So they can't like you.
This is deep.
They can't like you. So why so you want to change your values then? Because you keep changing.
Just to belong.
If that's what you want to do, you want everybody to like you you will keep changing and changing until one day you're like, am I a man or a woman? Am I a boy or a girl? You will just run. So you need to understand who you are, understand what your values are, and you will see that you will gravitate towards the same people that have similar values to you,
similar beliefs,
and they will gravitate towards you as well. And don't worry about that people, because you just don't have anything in common.
This has been so insightful. Thank you, Jola, for honoring this invitation again. And I'm still going to bring you back a few more times before you disappear into the UK.
It will be my pleasure.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this conversation. And I hope and believe that people who listened, people who will still listen, must have learned one or two things that will help them on a journey of self-love. And that's it on Shepreneur with BCU on Africa Business Radio today. If you have any suggestions on how the show can be better, send a DM to Africa Business Radio on Instagram. Till I come your way again next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.